Our top story this hour, the Department of Tourism has conveyed its condolences to the family and friends of a British tourist who was killed in Nyanga. This was amid the ongoing taxi protest in the Western Cape. The British tourist is amongst 5 people who have died in incidences that are allegedly related to the Santaco taxi strike. Several vehicles have also been torched. About 200 criminal cases have been registered with police, all in connection with the strike. Many businesses remain shut, with staff not being able to travel to work. Santaco withdrew its services following a breakdown in negotiations with the City of Cape Town and the provincial government over the impounding of taxis. The city has seen a wave of public violence incidences in the wake of the ongoing Santaco mass action. Santaco Western Cape Deputy Chairperson Nyanga says that they will also launch an urgent interdict application, perhaps to have all impounded vehicles released. Let's get the latest on the ongoing Santaco strike in the Western Cape province. For that, we're going to cross to our reporter Vanessa Poonah. Vanessa, good afternoon. Perhaps you could speak to the developments unfolding as the taxi strike continues. What's the latest emerging?
Good afternoon, Shulizal. The latest is that we know now that Santaco has agreed to meet with provincial and local authorities today. We understand that that meeting is underway. This, of course, following that announcement they made last night at the media briefing, where they've decided to extend the stay away at least for the next 48 hours as they seek that urgent court interdict to prevent the City of Cape Town from further impounding their vehicles. And also, they're going to ask the court to order that those vehicles that have been impounded, those taxi vans, to be released. Now, of course, in the interim, while that negotiations are ongoing, I can tell you that community leaders from across the Cape Flats, I've spoken to some in areas such as Mitchell's Plain, Delft, as well as Guguletu. They have come here to where I'm currently standing in a depot of the Gift of the Givers in the airport industria. They've come here to collect much needed supplies, because what they explained to me that has unfolded in those poorest of the poor communities over the past few days of the strike action is that people are battling to access food. They are then, of course, resorting and coming to the Gift of the Givers, an organisation well known for its humanitarian aid work. They are collecting additional foodstuffs because, as they've explained to us, bread vans, for example, have not been able to enter many of these townships and informal areas to deliver something as simple as a loaf of bread. And people are really struggling to access food, especially now since the strike has been extended. Of course, I'm joined now by Ali Sableh. He's the spokesperson for the Gift of the Givers here in the Western Cape. Ali, very warm good day to you. Quite a dire picture painted. You work in the humanitarian space. Would you say that a humanitarian crisis is indeed unfolding in these poor communities?
Most definitely. From the second day of the strikes that occurred in the Western Cape, we had community leaders, church leaders, school principals calling us, asking for assistance. We had clinic sisters informing us they have patients coming to the clinic, not for a checkup or for medication, asking something to eat. As we know, many chronic patients, they have to eat something to take their medication, and for many of these people in the townships, they are struggling. We then informed, as Gift of the Givers has on an ongoing basis, 105 soup kitchens in these informal settlements and Cape Flats areas as to where is the hotspots of the strike, of the violence at the moment, of where the taxi strike is taking place. So we've called in our soup kitchens, topped them up to assist these communities, where we were called last night by the Mayor's office as well to ask for assistance, disaster risk management. Santaco also called us just an hour ago to ask us to come into the area to assist the community as they see the humanitarian crisis growing. As you correctly said at the beginning, not any delivery vehicles can come into these areas of how volatile the situation is. So on every second day, we are filling up our soup kitchens to assist these communities. We had farmers coming to drop off some vegetables here. We had a bread company, Sasco, dropping off 20,000 loaves of bread. The noodle factory had just sent in another truck of noodles to distribute to various communities in the Cape Metropole.
Ali, earlier on you said to me that it would be in the interest of everybody, but specifically those vulnerable people, that an end, I suppose, to this impasse is reached sooner rather than later.
Most definitely. Most of the people that are employed in the city centre or in any other industry come from these informal settlements. For the last 7 to 8 days, they could not go to work. They are the breadwinners in the home. Children cannot go to school, and for many of the children, the only meals they get per day is at schools. That's also a major concern at the moment. Clinics are closed, so people cannot get their medication. So it's having a ripple effect. We saw the same kind of situation when the Durban unrest took place, but on a much larger scale. So we hope and pray the negotiations go smooth, because those that are suffering the most are those in the townships, in the Cape Flats, the most vulnerable.
Alisa Blay, thank you so much for speaking to us. Of course, they're the gift of the givers, just explaining to us that what they see on the ground and what they're hearing from the communities that they serve is indeed an unfolding humanitarian crisis, as many shops in these informal settlements as well as poorest communities are running low on supplies. Most basic items such as a loaf of bread is hard to come by. And of course, just now we've seen at least 3 different vehicles, 3 different community organizations pulling up with their cars and bakkies, being loaded to the brim with fresh fruit and vegetables as well as noodles. I've seen some samp as well as maize meal being loaded onto those vehicles to take to those various soup kitchens and community organizations to make sure that at the very least some food aid is reaching those in need.
Vanessa, thank you for that update. We'll continue to monitor developments as that story progresses.